Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing a dish that I eat probably 3 times a week. Chicken and broccoli. It's like a one-pan wonder. But from the top of this, let's put that to the side. I put out a thing on the internet recently that were like, if you, that made me sound northern, that were like, if I said you were like bastard. I put up a thing that was like, imagine being your big age and not knowing how to cook rice. And I was fucking dumbfounded, bro. I was like, blindsided. What are those other words that means like it's come out of the blue? I was slide tackled. I don't know. But the amount of people that sent me the little hand up emoji in my DMs and was like, Hass, I can't cook rice. And these are people that I know that work in the industry. These are people that I know from being friends. These are just fucking people that I communicate with over social media. How the fuck are you over 25? Oh, I think 25 is a blight. How are you over 21, bro? Yeah. And don't know how to cook rice? It's fucking atrocious, fam. It is hold your head down and look at the floor. Blasphemous, blood. It is sloppy Sunday league football. Get to fucking score the penalty and you miss. It's Gareth Southgate, blood. How can you not cook rice? If you're watching this now and you can't cook rice, you're a pussy-hole, man. Remember I told you you're a pussy-hole. And if you ever compare yourself to anyone, yeah, you ever feeling down or like that person's got more than me or that person's got more bread than I have or they're working with companies that I want to work with, just look at them and be like, that pussy-hole can't cook rice, fam. That's how I live my life. Like, I'm better than you because you can't cook rice or an omelette. Those are my 2 things. If you can't cook rice or cook an omelette, you're a full-time pussy. I don't care how pretty you are. I don't care what you bring to the table. I don't care how many gal you fucked. Like the beginning of that Skepta tune where Shorty's chatting bare shit. If you can't cook rice or an omelette, you're a pussy. I said it with chest. Dickhead, all right? Learn how to cook rice, you fucking idiot. So, here's rice 101 for the second time. The last time we cooked rice was sushi rice, yeah? Stubby, little short grain. The shorter the grain means almost like the stickier the consistency and the shorter the cook, right? Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing jasmine rice, a rice that's cooked in my house as often as basmati. I feel like we're a sushi rice house, but if we're gonna teeter and go any other way, it's jasmine or basmati. So, a mug full, this is my mug, of rice has gone into here and I've washed it. There's bits of like tree and stuff in there, I apologise. And I've washed it until the water has run semi-clean. When the water starts to run clear, soak the rice, yeah? So, this rice has been soaking. I'm just going to drain it off, yeah? I've got a colander. Now make sure you get all the excess off, because any trapped rice in here now is just gonna fuck with our measurement, yeah? Whoop. It's like working in a hibachi. Oh. There you go, right, cool. So, rice is washed. Get your favourite fucking saucepan, add your rice to it. Now, as middle class as this sounds, yeah? Filtered water makes better rice. It just does. The water's cleaner. It's probably something to do with pH levels. Tap water, fine, but I've got a water filter in the house and I use filtered water to make my rice, right? So, this is the mug that we've measured our rice in. We're gonna go 1 whole mug. Like this. Now this is the measurement for jasmine. So we've got 1 whole mug. And then a third, yeah? A mug and a third. This little tipple for me. Now, refreshing. Take a big crack of salt and stir. If you don't stir this now, all the salt sits on top of your rice. Stir it around. Like that. Seasoned, washed, measured, and ready to cook. Now, from here, Put your stove on. Ow. Rice goes on, lid on top. I'm gonna go get the lid because I forgot it, yeah? I bought a frying pan for no reason and a chopping board. I got the lid. Lid goes on. Let the rice come up to a boil. While that happens, let's start dealing with our protein. So, today's recipe is, like I said at the top, something that I cook almost 2 to 3 times a week. It's just quick. I've always got chicken breasts. I fucking love broccoli, and I do chicken and broccoli a lot of the time. So, get myself my other chopping board. I find that I just often crave Asian flavors, soy sauce, chilies, ginger, coriander, sesame oil. There's all the things that I crave often, right? And when I lived in Turkey doing the book for a little while, all I fucking wanted to do was eat Asian food, whether it be Chinese, Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese, Filipino. All I wanted to was those flavors that were like my Friday night flavors. Anyway, we're doing like a Chinese takeaway, but not a Chinese takeaway dish. I've got 2 chicken breasts, right, that I just want to slice on the angle, like little medallions, yeah? Right, chicken's cut. Let's turn our attention to rice. Look, rice is just coming up to the boil, ladies and gentlemen, right? You see it? Just on the edges. If I give it a little stir, make sure that nothing is stuck to the bottom, and put the lid back on. That rice is up to the boil. I'm going to drop my burner to the lowest heat it can do, yeah? So it's still taking heat on, but very gently, very slowly. We are going to set a timer on our phones for, hey Siri, hey Siri, hey Siri. This thing never works when you need it, you know.
No, mine's fucked.
Mine don't work at all, ever. I am going to put a timer on for 10 minutes, yeah? So it's low heat. No, we're not. 8 minutes. Timer is on. It's come up to the boil. We've washed it. We've seasoned it. Come up to the boil. Dropped it down. Do not lift this lid now, yeah? Timer on, 8 minutes. Let it do its thing. Chicken's chopped. By the time this is how I normally do things when I'm making dinner. The first thing I do, I come in off a dog walk, I wash my rice and I set it, right? No, the first thing I normally do is I wash my rice and I leave it to soak. That's either before a dog walk or after a dog walk. You have to think about, if you want to make a really nice dinner or want to just cook better, you almost have to plan it, right? So the first thing should always be the thing that takes the longest. Chopping rice, blanching a piece of broccoli, chopping chicken, blanching a piece of broccoli, and like adding a few flavors to meat isn't the longest part of our dish. So rice goes on first. Same if it was like pasta, or if you think about a risotto, you want to be cracking the grain at least an hour before you want dinner to be ready, right? So chicken's chopped, rice is doing its thing. We're gonna just put familiar flavors in here. There's nothing gonna go in here that you're gonna be like, oh, that's different. That's nouveau cuisine, that is. There's none of that. It's just gonna be things that I think, 1, you should have in your store cupboard, and 2, things that just go well, man. Like if you think of like beef and broccoli in Chinese restaurants, it's the kind of angle that we're going for. I just find that chicken in my household, especially growing up as a kid, was the meat that we could afford to eat every day of the week, whereas things like beef were often like a Sunday roast or a special occasion. So I just feel like I've adapted and taken on that chicken every day flex that my mum and dad were on back in the day. Microplane, onto the chicken. That's 1. And then 2, I'm gonna do a clove per person, but we're also chopping more garlic into this later. So this is just gonna be like a marinade. Garlic's in. Then we're gonna go in with some corn flour. Now, corn flour has the ability, like if you've watched the chow mein episode, has the ability to what the Chinese food, what's known in Chinese food as velveting. I was gonna say silking, but it's called velveting, which gives you glossy, thick sauces, or it coats your meat in like a whole mouthfeel that you want to eat and want to like warm cuddle, basically. You can do that with marinades also by adding corn flour. So the corn flour in this will raise the pH level of the chicken, which means that it lets out moisture in order to absorb. So it's flavouring our sauce, but also going soft because the corn flour is almost acting as like a protective layer or coat. So we're going to go in with one. Oh, that might be a bit much. One. Go half of that. Less of a big spoon. That's why I don't like using corn flour, because basically you get it out once and then it fucks your cupboard for the rest of the time you've had it. So you're better off using it once and throwing it a fucking way. I've got some dark soy. 1, 2. I'm gonna add in some sesame oil. 1. And I'm just gonna give this a mix with my hand. Massaged, yeah? Leave that 25 minutes. Again, I just find myself cooking food or cooking things in stages because it's easier to take control of. I know my hand's dirty. I've got some blanched broccoli, boiling water, heavily salted, gave it a dunk until it was bright green, took it out. You won't be able to do this with raw broccoli, it just won't cook in time. You need to make sure that you blanch your broccoli, because all of this is going to happen quite quickly in a very hot pan, right? But when you've got a flat edge like that, it just gives you an opportunity to create more flavour, right? Timer's about to go off any minute now. We're going to chop some aromats that are going to go in our pan while everything's cooking. So I've got a couple chilies, ginger, and a clove of garlic. Rice, steamed. Do not lift the lid. Just put it aside. Leave it. Forget about it. Let it do its thing. Ginger. Just going to peel. And then 2 bird's eye chilies. And then this, we're just gonna like chop together into a pasty arrangement. Right, while I paste this, just wanna get this frying pan on a really high heat. The key to dishes like this is cooking on a fucking high heat, char, and creating flavour through intense cooking, right? So this is why I bang on the beginning about being ready and being at the right stages. My broccoli's blanched, my chicken's marinated, my rice is steaming. I've got a few things to bring together at the end, and we're good to go. Let's move on to finishing and garnish, right? So I've got a spring onion. Just gonna hack out some coriander. And I've got a couple peanuts. For the cook, I need MSG, I need some sugar, I need some rice wine, pure sesame oil, dark soy, light soy, garnish is done. Bob is your fucking uncle, Fanny is your aunt. This, all of this right now, George, shake the camera, yes or no, if you have this in your pantry right now. See?
So if I don't have it,
just shake the camera. George has it all, yeah? You should have all of this. It's just for me, because I tend to go this side of the world in cooking, stuff that I've always got. I'm moving house very soon. and I've just got doubles of soy sauce and doubles of sesame oil, and I've got to start cooking through them. So this is a good way to start. Hot pan, oil down, smoking point, chicken. Season the chicken with a bit of salt. And we're gonna get said chicken into the pan. Now you'll find that when you do like a corn flour coating on a chicken, it doesn't need that long to cook. Yeah, it's gonna soften because of what the alkalines change, which means the proteins change, which means it won't need that much long. It won't need the normal amount of time to cook. And plus, because we're going to be cooking it twice, I don't want to cook it for too long. Basically looking for this to colour, turn it over, get it out of the pan. So give it a nice fry until you've got like, it almost looks like chicken satay that you get in a Chinese restaurant. You've got like a crisp outside, right? That's locking in all the moisture in our chicken. So you'll notice that when you normally cook chicken, all the water pisses out. Now, this chicken's not cooked, but it's in the stage of being like 80% of the way. I want to build all the flavour in this like stir fry, in this pan, and then reintroduce our chicken at the end, right? So get your chicken out. And this is not complicated. I think in hindsight, these are the recipes that we should have done at the beginning of Sunday sessions. Like instead of making fucking crab ragout because I wanted to, or like searing scallops in charcoal, what we should have been doing from the get-go is teaching people about pan control and flavours and almost like showing you how to make dinner. I think it's very important that dinner's a celebrated part of your day, and like being able to come home and making a delicious dinner using a few basic ingredients is important. So pan back up to a high heat. I tend to be, whenever I'm working, I'm always working with a high heat, right? Because things cook quicker, you get char, you get flavour, you get all of these things that you don't get from dull, board, static heat from pan. Broccoli, salt, broccoli in. Once the broccoli goes down, don't touch it, yeah? We're gonna build some colour on this broccoli. Just make sure that things are face side down so that we can get that hard cook on things, right? Push the broccoli to one side. A little bit of oil. Aromats. Stir fry. Bump of MSG. Half the amount of sugar. Let that melt and get into the pan. A little shot of Searing rice wine. From that point, chicken goes back in with all its juices. A little shot of soy sauce. Spring onions, coriander, peanuts. A little touch of sesame oil. Once the sesame oil is in, heat off. We're using it as like a seasoning, a garnish. Honestly, I make this fucking 3 times a week for dinner. in the time that dinner's cooked, rice, it's nice and steamed. Grains are pointing towards the sky. When your grains are pointing towards the sky, almost like a ah, it means you've cooked your rice properly, and we're giving thanks to the rice gods. Rice gods are praised. Fluff up your rice. Look, when you cook proper rice, your pan should be clean. Yeah, clean. No water, no stickiness, no clumping. Good rice just comes together like brothers and sisters. Yeah, it wants to be individual, but it wants to be part of the clique still. It's like the youngest sibling. It's me, basically. Stick some rice in a bowl. Stick some fucking chicken and broccoli on top. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to uni, yeah, but if I went to university, obviously studying a degree in the School of Hard Knocks, this is what my dinners would have been like. In between drinking snake bites and going to Freshers Week and that. Tastes like dinner to me, man. I just really enjoy quick, simple food over rice. It's rich from like dark soy sauce. There's a warmth of Thai chili in the background, punch of ginger, and then you got like freshness from coriander. And spring onions. If I'm being serious, I am being serious. It needs a squash of lime, is what it's forgetting. But I've walked from there to here and back, and to there and back, and to here and back a million times, and I can't be fucking bothered. So for now, just a little squash of lime. George can CGI it in green screen and that. But it's fucking yum. Thank you very much for watching. Joe Wicks, cuz. If you want to get lean in 15, bill a spliff. Yeah? Thank you. Big up Joe Wicks though, man, he's cool. Did a fart on national telly and that.
Top House Films.
Can you say films?
Film.
Films.
Films.